Like and subscribe now, or you're gonna have that work this week.
Mutations are absolutely necessary for the evolution of a species. However, some significant mutations can end up being harmful to the existence of an individual. Here, we share some of the most shocking mutations observed in animals. Number 1 will definitely make you think twice before owning a cat, so watch out for that. Number 10, the goat with 8 legs. In 2014, a Croatian farmer, Perak, had a pleasant surprise when he came to know that his goat named Sarka had just given birth. But he was even more surprised when he came to know that the young kid had 8 legs. Mr. Futhark didn't believe at first sight and called his neighbor to make sure he was not hallucinating. Furthermore, he came to know that the goat had both male and female reproductive organs. It might be possible that the goat has twins that have merged, hence the birth of wonder. There was a lack of possibility that the goat with 8 legs could survive for more than a few days. There were 2 possibilities. The young goat would have died either of deformity or due to starvation. What happened next is not known, and the media did not follow up on the story. Number 9. The monkey pig. The mutation doesn't necessarily mean an extra body part. It can also lead to features of other animals together, such as the case of a pig born in Ciega del Villa in central Cuba. The pig became famous across the internet for having the face of a monkey. It seems like it was a crossbreed between the 2 animals. Most people are of the view that the mutation of the piglet came about due to chemical pollution in central Cuba. Perhaps people should take responsibility to minimize pollutants. There is no guarantee that mutation will not affect the human or animals. The piglet could not live longer than 4 days. The mutated pigs are quite a widespread phenomenon in China. Piglet was born with its tongue out due to an overbite that means you could not feed it normally. To top it off, its eyes were different sizes. Number 8. The two-headed snake. Snakes are one of the scariest reptiles on this planet. Now, picture it with an additional head. This would surely grab your interests. That's how we, a snake with 2 heads, was born in 1999. More interestingly, the snake was also an albino, which was even more eye-catching. The World's Aquarium in St. Louis forked out $15,000 for the rare reptile, knowing very well that it probably had a few days to live. But it lived for 8 years before succumbing to a natural death. But the amount of $15,000 paid off as the snake Wee attracted millions of tourists to the World's Aquarium during the 8 years. So, why the snake was named Wee? That's because the snake had both male and female reproductive organs, which made it impossible to categorize it into either gender. So the name Wee kind of solved this. But perhaps more fascinating was the fact that the snake had 2 separate brains, which means 2 different decisions in the same body, like moving in different directions. Most of the time, each brain was trying to move in its direction, which was interesting for the children. Number 7. The two-faced cat. The most surprising mutation is another cat, Franklin Louise. He had 2 different faces, hence 2 different names. The animals with such mutations live for only a few days, and that's what was predicted for Franklin Louise. The owner of the cat, as soon as it was born, handed it to the Cummings Veterinarian School of Medicine at Tufts University for a closer look. He was shocked to know that the newborn had just a week to live, but he nullified this prediction and lived for a whole 15 years. Today, he holds the Guinness Book of World Record for longest living two-faced cat. On top of the 2 faces, the Franklin Louise had 3 eyes, with the third separating his face, and 2 mouths, although only one of them functioned. It also had 2 noses. As far as brain and throats are concerned, he only had 1 of them. Franklin Louise died recently in 2014 by euthanasia. Number 6. The two-headed cardinal. Birds are some of the rarest animals found with 2 heads. It is because any animal with this kind of mutation really has little to no chance of survival. So when this bird was found in western Massachusetts, it was indeed quite a rare find. What made this discovery rarer and weirder is that not only that this bird had 2 heads, it had 2 beaks as well. April Britt from Northampton noticed that the cardinals had been flying around her home for quite a while. She thought it was strange and went to investigate what the matter was. During her investigation, she spotted this tiny bird on the lower branches of one of the trees. The bird was a few weeks old and was covered in juvenile feathers. The discovery even made it to the local news, and Britt was interviewed regarding her find. Unfortunately, the bird did not have a long life and died at a young age. Experts say that due to the deformity, even flying was an impossible feat for the poor little thing. Number 5. Four-legged duck. The duck in Hampshire's duck farm could not be ignored because the duck had everything normal as far as size and color is concerned, except it had 4 legs. These extra legs were not hard to notice, as these extra legs would get entangled somewhere around the farm. The duck owner kept it in a pen. The duck would spend the whole time in the pen until one day when its one limb caught in the fence surrounding the pen. There was only one solution: to amputate one leg which brought the number of legs to 3. After some time, one leg blackened and fell off, which made Stumpy just like any other duck. The duck was still a marvel after surviving mutation because according to vets, animals with such mutation survive only for a few days. Lucky duck it was, we must say. Number 4. A frog with 6 legs. Moving on to number 4, here we present you with a frog with 6 legs and 2 heads. The frog was picked up from a garden of a seaside resort and taken to a nursery in the United Kingdom. The reason behind the 6 legs and 2 heads was not known, as the frog escaped the day after its capture, but that didn't stop the people who knew about it from coming up with their own theories about the many-legged and 2-headed frog. Some people believe that it may have been caused due to polluted water in which the frog was born. Some believe that 3 frogs stacked up in the mating process known as multiple amplexus. Which one of these theories is correct? That we will never know, probably, unless another frog with the same condition is found and examined. Till then, we can only speculate. So, what do you think was the reason behind this frog's strange appearance? Tell us in the comments. 3. The winged cat. As you may have noticed by now from this list, cats are the weirdest creatures out there. The wings are a feature from birds that make them different from all other types of animals in the kingdom Animalia. But having a cat with wings? That surely is something that is not very common. Or we can say it is impossible, as a cat is a mammal, and mammals don't have wings. But there's reportedly 140 cats worldwide that are said to have wings, with at least 20 of them being documented. These cats have been reported as far back as the 19th century, but recently one of these rare cats has been reported in 2017 in China. Unlike any other mutations, wings are developed later. Wings are developed later on instead of at birth. Seeing these wings develop on a male cat, these wings garner too much attention from their female counterparts. It is the hot terrains of Sichuan province in China where the cat was found. The scientists gave different explanations about the development of wings on the cat. Some of them attributed it to a genetic defect that the cat inherited from its parents. The cat can't use the wings or fly, but can flap like a bird. Before moving on to the next entry on this list, we would want you to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on any of our amazing videos. Number 2. Biosteel ghosts. A lot of mutations happen naturally or by accident, but this one was deliberate, as it was a work of researchers at the University of Wyoming. The researchers fusing the spider gene responsible for cell production and the genetic material of goats. This in turn had allowed the goats to produce milk with a special protein from which biosteel is made. The biosteel is 10 times stronger than normal steel, and it can be stretched over 20 times. It can also tolerate extreme temperatures without losing its strength. The material can be used in jaw repairs and for making bulletproof vests, making better car airbags, and creating synthetic tendons and ligaments. By far, there is no side effects on the goats due to the introduction of the gene. We expect it remains that way. Number 1. The one-eyed cat. Kittens have always been a favorite on the internet for their cuteness, and we are sure you are aware of the popularity as pets in homes and also on the internet. But in 2012, a kitten became viral for a most different reason. It only had one eye. Yes, you heard that right, a kitten with only one eye. It was a surprise, not just to its master, but to the whole world. It was not only because of its single eye that it drew attention, but the fact that Clade, the one-eyed kitten, didn't also have a nose. As you could have guessed, breathing was naturally impossible without having a nose, so the kitten died just a few moments after its birth. This was an entirely new experience for the owner, who posted the video on his YouTube channel. On one end, it was surprising because it was a kind of experience not everyone can have, but at the same time it was very painful to see that the poor animal could not survive for long. It was a terrible ending, but it lives on YouTube for the whole world to see. Which one of these animals did you find the most shocking? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.